Hey there, and welcome back to Rival Reviews. As always, I'm your host DJ, and let's just get into it. It's that time of the year now, award season is upon us. We got, Oscars and, Golden Globe things happening and everything else like that. But what we're here for and what we care about is the Anime Awards. I do know that there are definitely different sources of awards every year. Like, I know that there's the Anime Corner Awards and the Anime News Network and everything else like that. But this one is solely going to be based on the Crunchyroll ones. One, due to the fact that Crunchyroll is my main source of watching anime. I just find that it's the best kind of source as to watching. I'm not really, there are the ever so often ones that are on like High Dive or, even now, as of this year, like Disney got into the game, Netflix obviously, and everything else like that. And obviously I do watch sums on those, but like I said, I found that the majority, of my anime watching happens off Crunchyroll. Um, so basically what I figured the best way that we were going to do this is that I'm just going to go through each nomination, tell you, I might not talk about all the nominees on the category, but I'll try to go through as many as I can. Obviously, I know everybody's going to have their own opinions, and like I said, I would love to talk to you about all of your opinions and how you feel about the nominees. One thing that did confuse me that I'm going to get right out of the way is I thought Free Run was going to be on this list a lot, and I guess the understanding that I came to is that because one, it's still ongoing, and two, it kind of started at the end of the year, it will most likely be incorporated into next year's awards. Because if it wasn't for that, I would think that it would take a good majority of these categories. Just because I think it's going to be that strong. Again, obviously, we have a whole year of anime to watch to come, so maybe something will beat it out. But anyway, we're not talking about next year, we're talking about this year. So, I figured that I'm not also going to go through all of them. Like, I'm probably going to stop before we hit the best voice artist performance. Mainly due to the fact that, especially because I watched the majority of my stuff subbed, as well as, obviously, I don't think it's fair for me to try to make a judgment on, the best Arabic performance, because obviously I'm not watching it that way, as well as, I don't really think that it's fair for me to give judgment on a voice performance just because I'm not a voice actor. So I'll probably go from, if you're looking at the nominations and everything else yourself, I'm probably going to go all the way from Anime of the Year and then probably end up on Best Ending Sequence. So let's get into it. I guess most, award shows go from, I guess, I don't want to say least important, but I guess they work their way up to the big bad best anime of the year. So I'm going to try and follow suit with that. So we're going to start first with the best ending sequence. So it looks like the nominees here are the ending sequences for Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Zom 100, Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer, Oshinoko, and Spy Family. Personally, if I want to give my opinion, I think that Oshinoko wins this solely based on the fact that I just liked the song the best. I don't really have any other way of describing it. I find that interesting about most ending sequences. I don't know about most, but I generally watch the ending sequence after the second episode the full way through once, and then I don't watch it again. I know that sounds terrible, but I'm not one to watch the credits every time, and I usually only generally do it once just so I can actually hear the song from start to finish, as well as see the ending. That's probably going to be the same ending for the whole season. Again, I do fully aware that this probably means that I'm missing out a lot, because I do know that there are some animes that make a different ending, or add little Easter eggs after every episode and stuff like that. But I've just been never one to sit there. Usually I'm either, moving on to the next show because usually I have a queue of things that I'm trying to catch up on. Or I'm, no lifing a series and just going to the next episode. So I will give the best ending sequence to Mephisto by Queen Bee Oshinoko. I guess. So that moves us on to best opening sequence. So again, it looks like Oshinokoi is up. Heavenly Delusion, Chainsaw Man, Zom 100, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Hell's Paradise. This one was kind of difficult for me because I thought that they were like actually every single one on here was a very strong contender. There were a couple that I hadn't actually watched. Like I haven't watched Heavenly Delusion, but I made sure to listen to all the openings so I could actually give an opinion. And I would have to say the one that I thought was the best opening sequence, I really enjoyed Chainsaw Man, based on again, I'm sure that you can probably you've probably seen this a million times, but it does shout outs to different movies and stuff like that in its opening. And I'm not sure, you can see it on YouTube or something like that, where they make a video of like Chainsaw Man and then the scene from the movie that it's trying to replicate, and it's perfect, and it's perfection. So yeah, so if I had to give it to an opening sequence, I would definitely give it to Kickback, Kenshi Yenazu, Chainsaw Man. So next up is best score. So it looks like we got Attack on Titan, Bocchi the Rock, Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer, Oshinoko, and Suzumi. I'm personally going to give this one to Oshinokoi, once again, mainly based on the fact that, well, one, I guess you can make the argument for Bocchi the Rock as well. They're both very, music based, I guess. Like they have like the background, like one, Oshinokoi, if you don't know, is kind of more based on the idol lifestyle, where Bocchi the Rock is literally about, a school band and like a guitarist and stuff. I just enjoyed the music in Oshinokoi better. If I had to hazard a guess, I'm going to assume that Bocchi the Rock will probably end up winning this award, but if we're giving my personal opinion, Oshinokoi was my favorite score, probably out of all of them. Now this one I found extremely hard. So this one is best anime song. So you got the opening to Oshinokoi, Chainsaw Man, Bocchi the Rock, Suzumi, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Hell's Paradise. Now funny enough, I know that I just talked about the best score being Oshinokoi, but in terms of the actual anime song, I'm gonna give it to Sessuyun Complex, Bocchi the Rock. I found that the actual opening song was a lot more fun in this one. And I just enjoyed it better. Like, not to say that honestly, I enjoyed all of these openings, or these anime songs rather. But I would have to give it to Bocchi the Rock at this point. Now this one I found interesting for a couple different reasons. So this category is the must protect at all costs character. I found this one extremely funny just because, I don't know, the category just seemed very silly to me. But yeah, so you got Anya from Spy Family, Bocchi from Bocchi the Rock. I never actually watched this one, so it's Bocchi from Ranking of Kings. I'm assuming it's the actual king dude. Murray Unasaka, Buddy Daddies. Pochita from Chainsaw Man. And Sulita Mercury from Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury. In this one, I give it to Anya just because she's adorable. And if anybody who is a fan of Spy Family has watched it or read it or whatever, I think you all agree with me. It was very hard because I also wanted to give it to Pochita, but then at the same time, he's not really, I guess the best way that I could explain it, I don't really see him as a character anymore, because now that he is kind of one with Denji. I don't see him as like a separate entity anymore. And realistically, without him, there would be no Chainsaw Man. So I guess you can look at it from that point of view, and yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. Next one we got here. Again, personally for me, I didn't find this a hard choice, but this one is the best supporting character. Again, there were the one thing that I will say is that for Arataka Reagan from Mob Psycho, I haven't watched Mob Psycho, so I wasn't able to give like a full I guess opinion on this one. But you got Hanj Zoe from Attack on Titan, Kana Arima from Oshinokoi, Power from Chainsaw Man, Satoru Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen, and Suguru Geto from Jujutsu Kaisen. I gotta give it to Gojo. He makes Jujutsu Kaisen, he really does, and I feel like he was a very important character when it came to the season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen. So I would definitely have to give it to him. This one I loved, and this one I might get some slack for, and I apologize in advance. But the next category is Best Main Character. So you got Bocchi from Bocchi the Rock, Denji from Chainsaw Man, Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan, Mob from Mob Psycho 100, Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece, and Thorfinn from Vinland Saga. As it is no surprise to anybody listening to this podcast and people who have listened to past episodes, I'm going to give it to Monkey D. Luffy. After all these years, I still find his character enjoyable. And especially the arc that just went by this year for the anime and everything else like that was, I don't know, personally outstanding for me, as well as I think very important to the character of Luffy himself. So yeah, that's what I give. Like I said, I almost went Denji because it was a really big year, especially in terms for Chainsaw Man and everything else like that. But I always got to go with my boy Luffy. All right, so best slice of life. So again, we got Bocchi the Rock, Do It Yourself, Horimiya, Insomniacs After School, My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999, and Skip and Loafer. This one was really tough for me because a lot of these I actually read, I didn't watch. But if I have to give my opinion, I would definitely probably give it more so to My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. It's a really enjoyable read, as well as my favorite probably out of all of these. I do know that kind of does a disservice to Do It Yourself because it was a made for anime. Like it wasn't like there is no source material. So I know that kind of puts a disservice to that. But yeah, I'm gonna give it to My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999 because it kind of has that aspect of, yes, it's a slice of life, but it also has a fun video gamer lifestyle aspect to it, which obviously as a fellow gamer I can appreciate. Next up we got Best Drama. So we got Attack on Titan, the final chapters, Heavenly Delusion, My Happy Marriage, Oshinoko, To Your Eternity Season 2, and Vinland Saga Season 2. I'm personally giving it to Oshinokoi. Again, especially if you know where the story is going from where it ended up in the anime. Not only would I find that this wins Best Drama, but I think this is going to win Best Drama for a long time to come, especially depending on how long they end up putting breaks in between seasons for the show and stuff like that, because there's still quite a bit of source material left for it to continue on to. And I do know that the manga, not that it's ending, but you can definitely see that it is the direction it's going. It's getting closer to the conclusion, or at least what we're hoping the conclusion will be. And it's a very strong read, and especially if you know deeper into the story from what is happening in the anime, it's a phenomenal drama piece. So if you haven't, if you've only ever watched the anime, like I said, the source material it is from is very strong, and if you are impatient, um, I would definitely give reading it a shot because it's, like I said, it's really good. All right, so that goes to best fantasy. So this is again, it was a no-brainer for me. I know that this could be argued, and I understand that there will probably be argument. Um, but this one is between Demon Slayer, Hell's Paradise, Mashel, Mushoku Tensei, Ranking of Kings, and the Ancient Magnus Bride. I'm giving it to Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. This anime as a whole, as well as the manga, is probably one of my favorite fantasies, probably of all time. So giving this the best fantasy award for the anime adaptation was a no-brainer for me. Not to say that a lot of these are really strong. I really did enjoy Hell's Paradise. Obviously, I've talked about my love for Mashel, as well as I really actually quite enjoy the Ancient Magus's Bride as well. But Jobless Reincarnation is like, I think it will go down in history as one of the strongest isekais in my opinion, and rightfully so. So yeah, that's why I give it best fantasy. Next up on the list, best action. Again, this wasn't really a huge, well, not to say so. You'll understand what I'm saying when I see this, but so the options were One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, Bleach, and Attack on Titan final season. Now, my personal opinion is One Piece, but I do feel that it is definitely rightfully deserved, not just because I'm a One Piece fanboy. This year had the Kaido arc of fighting and all of those scenes, and the fights in animation were phenomenal. And though I was really tough because I loved the fighting in Chainsaw Man as well, and I do know, even though I've said that I'm not really a huge fan of Demon Slayer, I can respect the action scenes and how pretty it looks and everything else like that. Same with Jujutsu Kaisen. All animation now I can say it for all of them. The animation nowadays, especially for action scenes and everything else, is freaking insane. But I keep going back to over and over again the Kaido fights and the fights that are happening on Wano this year, and all of them were phenomenal. And I think it would just be unjust to give it to anybody else. Like I said, I do understand that it could definitely flip to either side, but just personally, as someone who is waiting to see those fight scenes animated, the fights and action sequences were phenomenal. Okay, so now best comedy. Again, this isn't going to come as a surprise to anybody who's listened to my past episodes, but the options here were Bocce the Rock, Buddy Dads, Mashel, Spy Family, Urusei Yatsura, and Psalm 100. I have to give it to Mashel. Though all the other ones had their funny scenes and everything else like that, literally from start to finish, every episode of Mashel made me laugh. It hits the perfect niche for me because, like I said, if you are a fan of Harry Potter and you are a fan of One Punch Man and the ridiculousness that comes with that, and you put them together, it is literally the perfect comedy for me. And it's just so funny. And in my mind, if you can get me to laugh every episode and there isn't like an episode where I go, it wasn't that funny. But I didn't have any of that with Mashel. So I have to give it to Mashel for best comedy for sure. So this one was actually kind of more difficult for me because, like I said, so this one is for best romance. And again, every single one of these I've read, so I didn't really necessarily watch them. So it's between Horimiya, Insomniacs After School, My Happy Marriage, My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999, Skip and Loafer, and Toma-chan is a Girl. All of these, and I'm not kidding around when I say this, every single one of these could win this award. And I would be okay with it. All of them were great. It took me a while, but if I had to say best romance, so that means in my mind the best romance story, like, you know, the couple that I love the most, the one that I found, you know, had the best growth and everything else like that, I have to give it to now I'm actually even changing my mind right now. So here's the thing. I'm going to then give it a toss up. I would be happy either way if Tomo-chan is a girl or if Skip and Loafer won. No, you know what? I'm going to give it to Skip and Loafer. Skip and Loafer, because I find that it's the most realistic out of all of them. And again, this could be me because I don't know how far the anime went. So maybe I'm doing myself a disservice by choosing that one. Though I will give Tomo-chan is a girl a good like runner-up award, because that's also a 4 that has like over like 400 of them, and I don't actually know, like I said, I don't know how far the anime went on each of these, but the source material as to where the story is going in Skip and Loafer, in my opinion, is just so much stronger. So that's why I'm going to give it to that. Final answer, I'm not going back. Alright, so next we got Best Art Direction. Now again, full disclosure, I give respect to every single art, even if I'm not a fan of the anime or anything else like that. Full respect where respect is deserved. So again, the options here: Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer, Hell's Paradise, Jujutsu Kaisen, Oshinokoi, and Zom 100. Now, I'm personally giving this one to Hell's Paradise solely based on the fact that when I am strictly looking at the art and everything else like that, I found the creativeness of Hell's Paradise and like the island and the island inhabitants and even like the fighting styles and everything else like that, it was very different than other things that I had seen before in like any other one that is in this list. Which is why I'm going to give it to Hell's Paradise. Next one is Best Cinematography. Again, I'm doing this solely based on looks and what I felt looked really good and was really well done. Again, the nominees are Attack on Titan, Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer, Heavenly Delusion, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Vinland Saga. I'm going to give this one to Chainsaw Man because just it looked so good. And I just think that the way that it was choreographed and everything else, especially the fight scenes in these options and stuff like that, it's definitely the strongest. So next one is Best Director. Again, for this one, so the nominees are Attack on Titan, Bocchi the Rock, Chainsaw Man, Heavenly Delusion, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Oshinokoi. In terms of story and the way that it was directed and everything else like that, I am going to give it to Oshinokoi because, like I said, I think what they did with the source material, the pacing, everything else, I think what they did with it was really well done. So I'm going to give it to, and I'm so sorry for butchering this name, Daisuke Hiramaki for Oshinokoi. Kind of going back to the reason why I went with the art direction, I'm giving Best Character Design to Hell's Paradise. Again, the options being Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer, Hell's Paradise, Jujutsu Kaisen, Oshinokoi, and Trigun Stampede. The way that the design of the characters and the antagonists in Hell's Paradise and the blooming flowers and it's so hard to explain, but it's just the way that it was portrayed and everything else was just so different and so pretty in a grotesque way, and that's the best way that I can possibly put it. I have to give it to Hell's Paradise. Then we got, let's see, we got Best, again, certain ones I kind of just want to skip over just because it's kind of repeating myself. So like Best Animation, again, I'm going to give it to Chainsaw Man. I liked the way it looked. This one I found interesting because I had actually only watched one of these. So best original anime was between Akiba Made War, Birdie Wing, Buddy Daddy's Do It Yourself, Mobile Suit Gundam, in the marginal service. I actually only watched Buddy Daddy's, so you win it by default. Congratulations. I didn't want to give this one because I didn't actually watch any of them. So for best film, I'm just gonna give it to Black Clover because I like Black Clover. So yeah, suck it. Best new series: Bocchi the Rock, Chainsaw Man, Heavenly Delusion, Hell's Paradise, Oshinokoi, and Zom 100. I'm gonna give this one to Chainsaw Man due to the fact that it was phenomenal watching, as well as it's the one that I'm looking the most forward to coming back for season 2. And that's just mainly the reason why I'm giving it. Yeah, that's the best. Yeah. Best continuing series. Nobody's gonna come into a shock to my answer, but the nominees are Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece, Spy Family, and Vinland Saga. Due to the fact that One Piece is perpetually in my watch list, I'm gonna have to give it to One Piece because it's still going strong. I'm still looking forward to it, and it's the GOAT of continuing series. So it not getting it would be a little odd, in my opinion. Now for the big drum roll, anime of the year. Like I said, I was a little surprised. I'm assuming that Free Run is going to be on next year's list because if it was supposed to be on this list and it wasn't nominated, that is a bad choice. So we got Bocchi the Rock, Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, Oshinokoi, and Vinland Saga. In my opinion, and again, out of these options, if I have to choose anime of the year, I'm gonna give it to Chainsaw Man. I feel as if it was the biggest winner out of all of them. Like, it was the one that everybody was looking the most forward to. It had the most watches. I feel like a lot of people who maybe aren't even necessarily anime fans watched this and enjoyed it. I do think, like I said, I think out of the ones that were the options and everything else, it was the one that I enjoyed the most, and I think I'm not the only one with that opinion. So there you go. Those are my Those are my opinions on the the Anime Awards of 2024. I think it'll be interesting come March when this award show actually takes place. I believe, March 2nd. So mark your calendars, guys, because at some point during that week I will come back. I'll review my answers and see how close I got to the Anime Awards 2024 bingo, and see if I got anywhere near close to who's going to win what combination of awards. This week, we didn't really have any questions come in, which is okay. Maybe people just didn't have questions for me. And what I am currently reading is one called, let me see, I am the stepmother, but my daughter is just too cute. Essentially, it's another Otomi Isekai where, they got put into a novel. I think it's definitely supposed to be trying to rip off the stepmother and the daughter, kind of like she's supposed to be Snow White, but they're not blatantly outwardly going that way. It's a fun read. Like I said, if you're into the Otomi Isekai genre, I would give it a read. It's fun. And yeah, like I said, what do you guys think about my opinions on the 2024 season? I'd love to hear from you guys. Like I said, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, RivalXReviews, rivalxreviews@gmail.com if you want to shoot me an email. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.